Welcome back, lords and ladies. The Drakes are fed and ready to fly in our final match of the day, FlyQuest versus Clutch Gaming, and it's time to get things rolling by looking at the starting rosters. Are you ready? Because you better be. On the blue side, it is FlyQuest. That means it's Flame in the top lane, Santorin roaming around in the jungle, Keane holding it down in mid with WildTurtle in bot lane with JayJ at support and Coach St. Vicious.
And that means opposite them on the red side, it's Clutch Gaming. In the top lane, Solo. In the jungle, it's LirA, mid lane Febiven, bot Apollo with support Hakuho, and Coach David Lim.
Man, request that our intros are that sick. So FlyQuest have been quietly climbing up the standings, highlighted by last week's takedown of the reigning champion.
Yeah, and recently the players have been praising their new coach, St. Vicious, for the advantage he gives them every game on stage. And JayJ also cited him for the vast improvements in his play since joining the LCS squad.
And JayJ will be testing his mettle versus Hakuho today, one of the scariest supports you will find in the NALCS League of Legends scene.
Yeah, recently Hakuho and his lane partner Apollo have been getting focused, which is preventing them from taking over games. But you think about it, Apollo is still the kill leader in the NALCS. Yeah. And this puts Clutch in a position where they have to find an outplay in the late game, which is an unreliable win condition for them if they can't get the bottom lane rolling. But it's something that Clutch Gaming has done time and time again. It's how they made the third, fourth place match last split was off of the fact that they could, hey, take the game to 35, 40 minutes and have those late game plays come through.
And that man we were just talking about in the bot lane, quite a big part of the initiations that happened through that, getting a control for Apollo to be the strength that he is on this team. And also getting a little bit of power from that mid and top lane. We'll see if FlyQuest can answer back. Santorin feeling pretty comfortable in his new position here. 4-4 for both teams as they look to climb just a little bit more in the standings.
Yeah.
As bands begin, we get the tried and true 2, Aatrox and Nocturne quickly from Clutch Gaming. I wonder if somebody will break up the lovers duo here. We already got Rakan banned.
Yeah, Rakan ban will probably make it so that Xayah is not picked. Talia, that leaves Zoe up as one of the big power picks.
Ta-da! 5-0-6 last week for Keane against Liquid. So it would be nice to get that in his hands once again.
And something that's interesting is, you think back to their game versus Team Liquid. FlyQuest blasted them. It was a single kill that went over to Team Liquid in that game. And FlyQuest really put on a clinic there, cleaned them up completely, and really had an amazing game. And JayJ is 3-1 since joining the squad, and right now in their last 5 games, they're 4-1. So they're on this streak where they started in a bit of a rough patch, but Santorin has found his groove. They also had JayJ added to the roster, and they really have been gelling incredibly well.
The gel and flow to being able to be capitalized on. We see the Trundle being locked in as well for FlyQuest as it's back onto their side. The Kindred and Fiddlesticks, 2 fantastic pickups there for Clutch Gaming to start things off and still be very versatile with the rest of their composition. As we have the Mundo getting locked in for Flame. There's a few plays on that, actually only one this split. It was last week against Liquid.
Interesting that they picked the Mundo so early because things like Darius are very easy to play into it and to find some success, especially when you're rushing something like the Executioner's Calling. But they may be calling a bluff here and saying, hey, you really want this other type of champion early on in your draft that would kind of occupy the 3rd spot here. And, wow, okay, the Galio.
Interesting. Yeah, kind of, you get triple dive buddies here. 3 people that want to go in, create 3 big circles. Maybe some diagrams where you get the depth of your opponents. It's going to be tough, though, because Fiddle can go down quick. You got to get Lamb's Respite, and it's a lot of communication, unless it's just being quick picks to get 1 or 2.
Yeah, it's interesting because that would mean you're kind of going for more diving, like you said, like having a dive buddy. But FlyQuest is a composition that really kind of wants to run into you so far. The Trundle will shred resistances, wants to run forward. It's hard for him to get out. And the Zoe is poke-oriented. So if they can combine this with something else, like maybe a Camille in the top lane, if they really were going to run her, but she's kind of out of the meta, but something that can get towards the back line. And FlyQuest haven't drafted their bottom lane just yet, so we'll have to see what they end up going for here. I like the Heimerdinger ban. I thought it was something that you would synergize with the Fiddlesticks early on in the draft. But Clutch looks like they were saying the Galio was more important.
It is interesting. We'll have to see how Clutch uses Fiddlesticks now by itself. Taken away from that Taster's Choice pairing of Heimer Fiddle.
I mean, it's still Hakuho on it. And
yeah.
You know he likes to make those plays in the mid game.
Absolutely. Lucian Ashe banned out from Clutch Gaming as WildTurtle takes a few hits, and Gnar is the final ban at solo in the top lane. I think only really 1 or 2 bans to top lane this game, so they have their pick of the litter.
The Jhin comes in very quickly for Apollo, so mixed damage here so far. Clutch Gaming, they'll have some AP threat from both the mid and the support, and then they have physical damage. So you can kind of pick whatever you want in the top lane. Question is, what do you want in this composition? I thought the Darius would come through because it seems like a pretty easy pickup to go up against the Mundo. What do they want for solo here?
It's surprising. The last, I'd say, handful of times, 5 out of 5, you see Jhin with Tom Kench for safety, but not this time. It's going to be a Jhin Fiddle and a Gangplank heading towards the top side of the map to finish things off for Clutch Gaming. Solo taking that into his hands for the first time in this summer split.
I mean, but he's no stranger to Gangplank.
No stranger to Gangplank. Was just going to mention that as well. 42 seconds left on the clock as teams size each other up. We see a lot of teleports on the ready here for Clutch Gaming to start things off.
I want to see what Solo does in this top lane because he's very well known for not being so much of a lane player, kind of surviving the lane phase. A lot of teams will pick on him, but then later on in the game, his ultimates are placed almost perfectly every time. His Scion ultimates, his Ornn ultimates, and his Gangplank ultimates are the 3 with different champions that really stand out to me as having large impact in fights. And so since they have a tank in the mid lane, he can play this kind of heavier damage top laner, squishier, and make it so that their team has a lot of physical damage, though, is the issue they're going to run into here. Is if that Mundo and Trundle get big, they're going to absorb a lot of damage before they go down.
Another cool thing we saw coming out of the Gangplank Galio comps just previously, I think it was a week or so ago, is that Raise Morale is the first level coming in for your Gangplank ultimate. More increased attacks over time for the ult. Everybody's in one spot, taunted in, knocked up. You just get a lot of good damage out of that global. We'll see how they play it. He has to get those Serpent coins before he can even level that ultimate up. About to be onto the Rift for FlyQuest versus Clutch Gaming for our final game of the day here in Week 5, Day 1. We're all about to do it all over again after today, and teams got to make their mark in the first half of this split.
Last game of the first round robin here in the NALCS 2018 Summer Split. FlyQuest versus Clutch Gaming, and you can see even scores. So one of them is going to end over 500, and the other one's going to be right under.
Ooh. FlyQuest with a bit of home court advantage. Hype in here. Final game of the day, loving the energy, as I'm sure the players want all of it as well. See some dematerializers on the map as stopwatches start to count down, and FlyQuest getting in the face of Clutch Gaming to start things off.
They want those
early
wards.
Vision.
Get those early wards.
Sweepers?
Down.
No sweepers.
No sweepers. But they did see them, so watch this. Apollo and Hakuho are going to have to walk through WildTurtle. He spotted out. Just walks away. So something I want to talk about here is Hail of Blades Jhin. It's incredibly powerful. Even though Jhin doesn't benefit from the attack speed, it just flat out as a stat. When he attacks, it gives him the AD on attack, not on hit. So as soon as you give the first attack, the attack speed becomes attack damage from your passive. So at the beginning of the game, he started with a Doran's Blade. So he'll have, I think it's about 12 to 14 more AD level 1 when he attacks from the Hail of Blades. But then when you get Stormrazor, there's this weird synergy where you'll crit with Stormrazor, right? So the attack speed from Hail of Blades becomes AD, which also means that the attack speed becomes movement speed when you crit, and that movement speed goes into the Celerity Mastery, which becomes more AD. So when you have Stormrazor in level 9, you're getting 72 attack damage while you have Hail of Blades on as Jhin.
Rounded out, basically it's a crap load of damage.
It's a lot of damage.
Sweet.
So like right there, his AD, you saw it kind of jump up when he would attack. He goes and attacks a player, but it's very, very good. And we've seen Jins today run the fleet footwork. The reason you run the fleet footwork is if you have a worse laning phase, as if it's like a Swain or a Mage bottom lane, because you're going to be eating a lot of poke. If you're up against another marksman, a lot of the time, you will be seeing things like the Hail of Blades.
Yeah. Good pressure from Clutch, getting the wave pushed up instantly here. A lot of that Dark Wind and Apollo's grenades. And then you get a nice clip on that.
Now, you can see that
LirA.
LirA, he went buff to other buff to Scuttle Crab, just to make sure that he has 2 buffs, and then also, he isn't level 3 yet, so he's not focusing on the ganking. It's more, hey, let's just get these camps, let's cycle them, let's make sure we're actually trading buffs, because FlyQuest went and they did his buff. So he doesn't have a red buff to take, and they knew this. So Santorin actually is a little bit behind in the jungle now, because he actually went exploring. No reason for it, but he went around kind of looking for, hey, where are the other camps? Looking for Febiven here.
Quick Justice punch back to safety. Probably add a little bit of damage. They're going to silence just out of turret range, but they bring LirA in to start trading back. He's got to be careful at how much he receives, wanting to return to the jungle. And they both see which buffs each other have, and they head back to their respective sides.
Yeah, I like that from LirA, though, because he ended up saying, okay, let's just make sure that we trade damage enough so that we're in a good spot, and he doesn't just get a free win.
All right, let's check in side stage with Avli, who chatted with Saint Vicious about that draft we just saw.
Thanks, guys. Just spoke with Saint. When it comes to the draft, he's pretty happy with what he got. But I actually asked him a little bit about JayJ and the players crediting their wins and success to him. He said that in terms of JayJ, he really just taught him how to learn by himself. So that means reviewing over VODs and kind of getting that self-learning in. Back to you guys.
That's one of the best things you could possibly teach somebody.
It's actually just what Analyst Desk started talking about, is having somebody who would micromanage you on a team is very tough when that person is taken away. And Saint's kind of saying, let's not even create that environment. You'll always have the idea to use your own advantages and create your own advantages.
Yeah,
so awesome to hear that.
Don't be dependent, right?
Exactly.
On somebody to do things for you.
Exactly.
Do them yourself. That's actually really cool to hear. And JayJ, it's cool because he's very new to the LCS,
Absolutely.
right? He's only played 4 games. This is his 5th one right here. And so he's having to kind of come up through academy and not having that much experience. And so being able to teach yourself and put in that hard work while you're fresh means that you're going to kind of establish a foundation for your future. And potential dive onto Flame before he hits level 6 on the top side. Solo has been pushing him in. There's a barrel. Oh, nope. LirA's actually going to back off. All right. Not even going to chance it.
Oh, hello. Feared away, but a quick Winter's Bite. Does it follow the concussive blows? The shot does not. But the flash is down now for Hakuho, making that a very easy Fiddlesticks to latch onto.
Yep, and that's actually an interesting gank from Santorin because the Scuttle Crab was coming up on the top side, and that's why LirA thought that there would be this Trundle on the top side. So maybe he would want to contest this, but that's 2 marks going over to LirA very early on.
Yep. Keep an eye on that. Solo's Serpents as well. He won't have the ultimate Serpents for quite some time. Actually has 3 bags of gold to spend when he does go back. His teleports still have, or top laners I should say, still have their teleports. We actually see the majority of Clutch taking a breather moment on the map here. All lanes backing at the same time. I wonder if they come out to do something after this. Or maybe it's just a good time and I'm looking too far into it.
It's probably just a good time.
Dang.
We'll see.
Dang.
It's okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, there goes the bag of gold. Yeah.
So nice.
Solo using 3 bags of gold. Ooh, I wonder. I don't think he sold them for 65 apiece. Let's go check.
Sell gold? That sounds counterintuitive.
Yeah, you can sell the bag of gold for 65. If you don't want to roll the dice, you know, you don't want to gamble. Because when you use it, it's a random amount.
Yeah.
40 to 110.
Ooh, gank towards the bot side. They quickly hit Clutch Gaming as they come back. A kill instantly onto Hakuho, and now Apollo is stuck under the turret. His minion wave is actually quite grand. Santorin takes a shot. One last hit. It's only between Santorin and WildTurtle, so it does not finish either off as Keane makes his way out safely. And they do get the kill they were looking for. First blood to FlyQuest.
Yeah, very close to level 6s on some of these guys on the bottom side too, but like you said, first blood does go over to WildTurtle there, who has actually been having a better and better split as time goes on. It's funny too, because people were saying it's his meta with the Yasuo in the bottom lane, right? When he's playing the Swain, he's playing these things for fun, but he's actually having most success on Marksman. He's 2 games on Lucian, 1 on Varus, and the other one was a Morgana. So pretty much across the board, except for that 1 Morgana game, is it. And this is your Acer Predator replay here, is the bottom lane dive that came out. You saw Apollo was walking back up, but Hakuho just gets tagged there and then blown up by WildTurtle as JayJ. He's the one, once again, making the play happen. Up against TL, it was JayJ making the play happen, and the bounces, whoa, blah. That's one of those ones where...
Great step by JayJ.
As long as it doesn't start bouncing back to him.
Great step by JayJ. And to look at that play, I was saying, Clutch is all backing at the same time. I wonder if they'll do anything. FlyQuest said they're all backing at the same time. And what are the chances they're all going to come to the same lane? In the jungle, they went immediately and caught Clutch as soon as Apollo and Hakuho reached the turret. So like you said, putting a few things on their plate and activating as soon as possible.
Yeah, and this puts Hakuho in a bad spot because JJ's about to hit level 6. You can see his experience bar in the bottom left. He's about to hit 6. WildTurtle just hit 6. That Fiddlesticks is a sitting duck. As soon as he walks into lane, you're going to be able to throw the ultimate at him and then just combo some CC together. You only have to worry about really kind of the retaliation of a fear onto one of the people. But it's not that high duration just yet when he's level 5.
Just passing 8 minutes. Stopwatch play is now available on the Rift. We'll see if any of this composition of diving into your face comes out of Clutch anytime soon. Wave pushed in as Febiven will get another back for himself. We'll see where LirA actually decides to go from here. His bot side is clear, but he may try to get a little bit more vision in for Apollo and Hakuho since they seem to be a focus on the Jhin and Fiddlesticks. Not the best lane at escaping ganks.
Yeah, it's also a slow push here on the bottom side, and that's why LirA is here to hover. It's a slow push where Santorin can potentially 3-man dive. The Zoe also has a bit of priority here because he's in lane before Febiven is. So Keane would be able to roam down and 4-man dive this. That looks like potentially what the doctor ordered here. They clear out the ward. Zoe's continuing down still. Febiven would have to get in position to use the ultimate pretty much right about now. He's trying to clear out the wave. They're backing up.
Febiven's roaming. Should be good on this. Keane's trying to get that hit onto LirA. If he can drowsy him, that means Lamb's Respite won't come out right away. Santorin just on the edge of the grand entrance, and they will be safe on that one. Misplay by FlyQuest. It took a little too long.
Yeah, and that was really good from LirA to hide right outside of vision, kind of making FlyQuest think that they weren't spotted there. And then Santorin just gets blown up. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble doesn't really retaliate much there, but it was good from Febiven to throw off the ultimate and roam down and be on time for that too. He has great CS so far on this Galio. He's already at that 10 per minute mark. He's just five shy.
Yeah. I think for plays like that, there's always this inkling in the back of your head. You're saying, this is taking just a bit too long.
Yeah.
Here it is again.
Yeah, it's one where you get that gut feeling, hey, maybe we overstayed. And so good by LirA to just throw down the ward, control that area, and then back up out of vision. And now we're looking at kind of advantages in different parts of the map, because the top lane, Clutch Gaming are winning that with solo, and the fact that he has this Kleptomancy and he's a Gangplank that will get free gold. You have a winning jungle with some extra stacks for LirA, and then the mid lane is going well for Clutch Gaming. Febiven has a really good CS lead right now, about 20. Has the teleport about to come up. And on the bottom side, there's a large advantage for WildTurtle, though. The kill, the first blood going over to him, and then also having that 30 CS advantage already. So that means this turret is going to take a lot of pressure and a lot of damage on him.
Great blocks by JayJ as well. Harassing while they're getting turret damage down. They're just multiplying the amount of junk that Clutch Gaming has to deal with while trying to protect a turret. And now more pressure. It's Forza crowd here for FlyQuest. Rinse and repeat on the bottom lane over and over again as they make their third approach. It looks like this one will be Vision.
Top lane.
Maybe they'll come back.
No ulti on Flame, and here comes the jungler. Here comes LirA.
Few shots, waiting for LirA to come in. Solo backs off, but maybe he just gave a bit too much distance on that. Didn't want turret aggro, and LirA makes it in with a dive. Is it close enough? It is as he secures the kill. Glacial Fissure comes down. Winter's Bite, concussive blows, and WildTurtle knocks one down for himself as Apollo falls.
And he's literally got 2 seconds.
Whoa! Hakuho is going hard on this one. JayJ goes down. Turtle close to falling. He starts firing back as Santorin puts his hands in the pie for a bit of that fight. Hakuho falls and WildTurtle is 3-0-0.
He tried so hard to get something back there. That was so close. Santorin is there. Santorin helps out and makes it so that he doesn't get a double.
Love that play from Hakuho. Like us, man. Just go in. No matter the play. Flash, Ignite, Ult, and the stopwatch used as they tried to pick up just a little bit more. They keep it 3-3 and completely even across that scoreline, turrets and all. 4-4 even in the split. What a game so far. Back and forth. Here it is again.
Yeah. So gets the root, but then it's the counter there.
Boom,
the
boom,
mark
bang.
into it, so he gets knocked up after the stun, and then the fear is used. The dark wind is used. Hakuho says, "Well, there's a Trundle behind me.
Yeah,
Time to
gotta
go."
go.
Goes right in. He doesn't have much to jump on top of that. So Ah, the stun, the mark there from JayJ. Again, kind of the dying motion.
So many little things coming into play as they go for broke already this early in the game. And we see Cloud Drake is the first thing up. Well, we have already had enough action around the map.
Yeah, rotations around happening.
I don't even think we'll get too much action down there for the objective. Deadly Flourish blocked in. Nice little 1-2 combo to get themselves over safely to the Rift Herald pit. But look at how quickly the lanes have now broken because of this. Bot turret falls, top turret falls, and now we have the switch happening.
Yep, the switch is happening, but they aren't actually pressuring that lane. You see Clutch Gaming actually put their dual lane to the top side, and then FlyQuest are using their dual lane to pressure mid and make mid do something. Because they have a long top lane. They don't have to answer anything immediately, so they're trying to make something happen mid lane instead to try and get an opportunity here. I like this type of move. Look at the top lane from Clutch. They're sitting there going, do we push up? We don't have complete control of this area. And now they're just shoving it out of mid, going straight to the bottom side. And they kind of give them the old okie doke, saying, we're really top side. Nope, just kidding. We are looking at the Drake. So the bottom lane kind of ran them around the map here, and FlyQuest might be rewarded with the Drake.
I wonder how much that fight, that incoming fight can be Clutch's though. A very far curtain call could mean FlyQuest doesn't get away. Febiven Justice punches in, 3v1. He instantly goes down as there's no real retaliation. A quick cannon barrage comes up with a kill for Solo, and Santorin stuck in the middle of the fight. Clutch now find themselves on the upper hand of this with the advantage.
Yeah, that was just a fight that came out of nowhere where they were all convening right onto the Drake, saying, all right, I guess we can't give this up to free. FlyQuest get it, but at the same time, Clutch Gaming, good setup there from the engage. Febiven went in with a 3-man taunt, and they just ended up trading, but they got one more on top of it.
Mid turret could fall from this. Unbreakable from JayJ comes up, but doesn't dodge or block too much damage. Turtle gets the hail of arrows out and tries to clear this out quickly, saving mid, but that's a quick rinse and repeat for Clutch Gaming to come back and take it down. We'll see this one more time, thinking they had the upper hand.
Yeah, Keane doesn't hit the Q or the E before it. Febiven flashes in, pretty much goes straight for WildTurtle, gets blown up, but they do get the counter kill. And then, the blast cone was hit to pop Santorin back in.
Wow. Febiven actually did a great job there of really cycling everybody onto him, so Apollo and the rest of the team could focus. And FlyQuest said, we'll take it. We'll attack the tank. A little bit of a win there, and 1,000 gold lead for Clutch. Finally get a slight lead for someone in this. But still, anything can happen. Clutch Gaming tries to head top now to stop what pressure Turtle and JayJ are throwing down. And there is a slight roam up from Keane that shows that all of FlyQuest wants something to happen here.
Okay, so I had to look back at it. I was like, who was it? Keane hit the blast cone and hit Santorin in.
God. Keane's so mean.
Yeah, I think he was trying to dodge the Jhin ultimate.
So
he was
you're just
around.
Quick click.
Yeah, he clicked around and clicked the blast cone.
Big sorry.
That happens.
Vision wards going down across the map as Clutch is able to push them up and easily secure them. Rift Herald still there for Santorin and team, so they can decide where they want to go to use that one.
And now is a big part for power spikes, because FlyQuest, even though they have the Rift Herald, they need to use it appropriately to open up the map and get back into it, because they're 1,400 gold down. Getting a turret would be very helpful, especially the mid turret. But then on the opposite side, Clutch Gaming, they have the Trinity Force power spike coming through. They have the Storm Razor on Apollo, which is a huge spike. We explained it earlier where it's going to give him a lot of extra damage when he just basic attacks. Right now he's at 232 AD, and when he attacks, he'll go above 300.
Check Solo, currently at about 500,
Hakuho?
600 serpent points, and has not upgraded that cannon barrage just yet. Top lane gets a little bit of love from FlyQuest as they get a little bit more gold in their pocket across the map. Scuttle Crab control for Clutch Gaming. Little things being grabbed now. Both teams realizing that we're trading a lot of these fights. We have to get an advantage we like before taking the next one. So they're trading objectives, scuttles, dragons across the board until they actually do match up.
Yeah, but the ward control so far from Clutch Gaming actually has been quite good.
Oh, yeah.
They've been moving it around the map. They actually have control of both top and bottom side and have way more wards out than FlyQuest do. And they even have more wards available to them at the moment. You see, JayJ just picked up 3 control wards to potentially lay out on the map and start advancing their ward lines. But the issue they're going to run into is clearing out the jungle. They have to go in pairs, and you can kind of see how Santorin and JayJ have grouped up right now to kind of guard each other on who's going to be able to go forward, clear out these wards, and that's going to get them this mid lane turret as they are able to de-ward some of the area, but they have to watch out. Retaliation from somebody like Hakuho coming over the wall is a real threat.
Protecting the eye as much as they can. Shelly turns just to the left. Takes that percentage damage as mid lane drops, and nobody's able to route around the outside. That vision we were talking about, keeping FlyQuest slightly at bay. You can see 33 vision score at 25, both on Santorin and JayJ, as they're trying to clear all these wards off the map compared to the lower numbers on the other side. Keane to pick up his blue. Where will Clutch Gaming go first? Do you feel like they're going to absorb a fight and use LirA and Febiven to retaliate? Or do you feel like they're going to want to engage on FlyQuest?
I feel like this composition is a little bit more suited for, I would say, just going in with the Fiddlesticks. If Hakuho can find a fight off of a GP ultimate, like they can actually counter engage, and I would say that FlyQuest probably are going to look for quick picks like that, but not full-on engages, because their engage tool is really just a pick from either WildTurtle or Keane landing a bubble, so it's not a full-on commitment. So Clutch Gaming, I don't think they're going to get the fight where they're being dove in on by, I don't think a Zoe's going to dive you or a Varus or anything like that. Instead, they're going to have to be the ones who initiate with something like a Fiddlesticks ultimate into a Galio ultimate, and having the GP plus Jhin ultimates, which is kind of a classic combo from way earlier. I would say like a year and a half ago.
Well, Solo did level up that fire at will. Incorrectly, he said raise morale earlier, so we've got fire at will to keep those attacks coming. Glacial Fissure comes down. That makes Clutch Gaming want this fight as Hakuho comes in, and around the other side goes Flames. He tries to separate the fight somewhat. He gets the curtain call. This may give FlyQuest a way back in, as there is a lot of focus on just one member with these big ultimates. Now both teams size each other up once again. Hakuho takes the Winter's Bite, and they're looking to take the fight. Solo down very low. Febiven flashes in! A huge 3-man taunt allows him to secure the kill onto JayJ, but FlyQuest still peppering the damage in with Santorin and the rest of the team. Solo now the focus as he tries to get in to save the rest of the team. The Justice Punch cut down as Keane comes up with a double kill. LirA and Apollo head for the hills.
Yep. Keane able to pick up multiple flashes there in that fight, and the Zoe runs rampant. 2-0 and 2, and Baron potentially on the table here. They're running to the opposite side of the map. They have the tankiness with the Santorin's Trundle, and they have the Mundo on top of it. And that's what it looks like right here. I don't know if Apollo would be able to actually do anything about this. Quick Baron, it just spawned 20 minutes in.
Trying to cruise out. A 20-minute home guard actually gives LirA a bit of distance. They're going to hit the cone. Drowsy comes in. LirA won't be able to make it over the wall. And Keane's going to be going down, but he gets a kill for himself from the grave. The 1-for-1 as FlyQuest grab Baron.
FlyQuest grab Baron 21 minutes in. They go very quickly into that Baron pit after winning that fight bottom lane. That was a fight that they barely won too, and it was turned around, and then they almost completely lost it when Febiven found that taunt.
See this fight again, very long. Ooh. Back and forth, and then continues into the river.
Flash from Keane, picks up another flash, then lands the bubble, flashes in, picks up another flash, throws out the Q, flashes, picks up another flash, flashes, goes straight in, and then gets the 2 kills. Like, he flashed legitimately 4 times in that fight, and I think he still has his actual flash up, too.
Try it, please.
But then right here, goes away, they get the kill,
Boom.
and then there's the counter kill that comes through. But
Absurd.
hitting the blast cone and also zoning LirA away, making sure that he can't even get an opportunity to go for it or even check the Baron.
Quickly thinking ahead, that's when you get that next level of play. Obviously, the jungler is going to want to take down Baron, but when you can slightly play in the head of your opponent, you're able to just cut down their plays instantly, and Keane was in LirA's face to start as he got to Baron. 22 minutes in now, 8-7. Keane didn't get Baron off of that, but he's not even really a member that needs it. Noticing how quickly they took it, we see a lot of Varuses with the AP build. Turtle had his Blade of the Rune King, so able to cut down Baron a bit faster with that in his AD build. coming into this one. They start on a second tier turret.
You know what's funny is I look down at my stats sheet, and 4 of these champions that FlyQuest have are exactly the same 4 that they used to beat Team Liquid. They have the Mundo, Zoe, Varus, and Braum. The only thing is just the plug and play of the Trundle versus the Gragas that they had before. So FlyQuest are in a spot where they are kind of using the same composition that they beat one of the top teams with and crushed them. They only got a single kill in that game on the side of Team Liquid. And FlyQuest are riding that momentum.
That kind of situation feels great. You're obviously not going to have the strength point, same strength at the same point in every game, but you relatively know how far you can dive, how hard you can take the fight. This one seems to not be a fight that FlyQuest want to take. The curtain call is opened, and that is FlyQuest wanting to go home. They do take down Hakuho, but Santorin falls, and they have to be very wary of what else they try to take. Top lane is pushing, a little janitorial duty needed there by FlyQuest as they clean up their own bottom lane.
Yeah, FlyQuest a little bit focused more on pushing with the Baron buff. They have 45 seconds left on it. They wanted to really get one of those inhibitors. They broke the inhibitor turret, so it's not kind of ideal, but it still gave them 2K gold advantage and a lane that they can push and get something from without having to worry about the siege situation. But Hakuho really does kind of come up clutch here. Goes in, fears JayJ, and then gets a lot of damage in onto Santorin. The Ignite came down, and that was big to Santorin. I believe he used the ultimate there, so it'll cut through the ultimate healing. And so they get that 1 kill, and they push all of them away. So watch out for this Fiddlesticks as it reaches the mid-late game, because remember, Clutch Gaming, they love long games. They just always seem to come up in these big, long games. It's like, what's going on? 30 minutes in, they kind of just flip a switch, and then they start winning it or having the fights go their way. And a lot of that is Hakuho's playmaking and seeing the opportunity.
It's explosive. I was talking about the one thing that kind of works when you're in your opponent's head. The next thing that works is doing something your opponent would never expect.
Yeah.
That wow factor, being able to just hit the shock and awe, and that's what you're talking about, which Hakuho has.
It reminds me of this time I was watching a Double Lift stream, and he was like, this play from the support is really good because there's literally no reason for him to be there. And that's why.
Exactly.
You can't actually expect that play. It's like, what is he doing on the top side of mid 4 minutes in the game? It's like there's no reason for him to be there. And that's what makes it a good play, because it's not something people can predict.
But it also is both answers to kill or the death.
Yeah.
What was he doing then?
Yeah, well, not a good play. Sometimes something being a bad play makes it a bad play, right? Sometimes it makes it a good play. Sometimes it's so bad it's good.
TILs, I mean.
Yep, but something that's bad right now is Hakuho is only level 9, doesn't have the rank 2 ultimate. There's the slow. They're going to try to follow this up. I expect Hakuho to ulti here in just a second. There it is.
Very tempered engage. They're going to be able to walk out of all of these ultimates just continuously going down the lane. The turnaround, piercing arrow instantly cuts down Hakuho. He's scaring nobody. A slow onto solo. Could have the orange and it'll be K. It follows through the wall. The Drowsy's on. The taunt from Febiven to try to save the day, but it's not enough. And now Flame's going to have the damage to follow through. The tank on the front line says, I'm taking the turret. Lamb's Respite is down, and FlyQuest have so much room to work with.
Wait, Keane. Oh!
Just missing Apollo being able to deliver back, and they know it. So they have to be careful at how many people go forward without the support. But talking about Clutch Gaming making the snap judgment plays, FlyQuest is able to retaliate beautifully. Yeah. See it again right here.
And this is the most predictable engage of the century. It throws down the ultimate.
Count how long it takes.
Yeah, it's the 2 ultimate combo. Then Hakuho goes in, uses the flash and ultimate. There's the QSS immediately from Apollo. They turn it around with the Q after the bubble. And then Solo walks up just to kind of get an auto, or I don't know what he's trying to do, just maybe throw out a Q. But then that right there, that looked like extendo bubble, the end of that range. Keane put himself right up against the wall to throw that one down. Whew. That's 4,000 gold advantage, but they still haven't gotten an inhibitor yet. Once you get an inhibitor, you get yourself a very large advantage in terms of map pressure. So Clutch Gaming still has some room to work with. Remember, in order to get the Baron, you have to go to the Baron pit. Those are great places for this team composition to fight as Clutch Gaming.
Turtle, the richest man in the game right now at 12.7, 6-1 and 4. As we were saying on this Varus play, it is just his wheelhouse right now. Looking at the Infinity Edge next. Teleport and Flash are up for him, along with a Knight's Vow and Zeke's for utility on his jungler and support.
It's been a good split for WildTurtle. Like, you think about this guy, and it's like, he's dying all the time or what's happening. He doesn't have a game this split with more than 4 deaths, and it was only his very first game when he was playing Swain, and there was kind of a misplay in the bottom lane level 1. Other than that, he's had really clean marksman performances all split long with 1 death or 0 death games. So WildTurtle has found it consistency, especially alongside JayJ, who is being aggressive in lane and getting them some wins.
A little fast to the fight on that one. And it is a fantastic change for Turtle, because in a lot of those games where he'd be doing well, the 6-1 and 4 would be a 6-5 and 4 because he's picking up those 2 kills when he goes down diving into a crazy fight or getting himself into trouble. Here, it just continuously escalates the advantage that the team gets. Much more orchestrated by the rest of FlyQuest.
Uh-oh.
Sleepy doesn't really engage too much just from the top side. Febiven's ready to dive in, but there's vision as FlyQuest is able to say, we don't want that much pressure. Ultimate up for Solo. He's just off on the right side. It would have been a great pincer if Clutch Gaming could have actually found a fight there.
Yeah, chunked out though. But completed items here for Solo, Stormrazor, Trinity Force, and now has the Mortal Reminder. And it looks like he might be going for the Sterix as his 5th item. But really big point here for the Gangplank. Being post level 13 is big too. Means his barrels tick down very quickly. The 0.5 seconds. There's the ultimate. Jhin ultimate to follow.
So much to start. How much does it actually do to the members that matter? Santorin and Keane are still able to stay quite healthy on the back, and none of that damage really touched WildTurtle, so he's happy to stay topside, push if necessary, or come back to the fight, which may be required. A quick kill onto JayJ as FlyQuest are playing a little too lax around the Baron pit.
Yeah, FlyQuest went up and to the left, and they were able to pick him up with that Solo.
He wants it again. Zanya's immediately coming out of Keane. Deadly Flourish just misses, but that's going to be the hit, and Trial by Fire as Keane gets burned down. LirA now putting pressure onto Flame as they get a bit of vision, leaving that breadcrumb wards on the way out so they can start Baron.
And this is going to be so hard for FlyQuest to stop. They have a Mundo, they have a Trundle, they have 2 big tanks, and then they have WildTurtle on this Varus. They need to buy space for him, but there's so many threats here that are still alive. Baron, 4,000. They got to fight now. Solo's dead.
Subjugate on Febiven doesn't even make Santorin that big. You see 2 going down, Flame and Febiven fall. Baron blow, and it's going to be the smite to Santorin. FlyQuest come up huge. A double kill for WildTurtle.
How did that happen?
Triple kill.
It's a 3v5, and they let the tanks walk up and just destroy the whole composition.
Amazing play by FlyQuest, stopping Clutch immediately, had the lead, had the pressure, fearlessly entering each fight even after losing JayJ. And now they're on the top inhibitor. It's going to be this falling, and they can head on down to middle to drop that one too. Respawn timers at 12 to 13 seconds, which will cause FlyQuest to retreat, but happily to spend their spoils.
Oh, getting double inhibitor, absolutely huge. They get back in the game. They had a little bit of a misstep, but it's completely remedied by the fact that they get the Baron at the end of the day.
Let's see what the focus became. It'll be a hell of a replay to watch as well, because there was the opportunity very much for the smite, taunt. The only thing that stops you is suppress.
Solo's tanking the Baron right now, so he's doing less damage to it. The Baron hits him, Flame goes in, gets him with the full combo. They blow up the GP, and then Febiven was just trying to zone, and Santorin pops the ultimate to boot. And he gets the smite on top of it, even though he's feared, I believe, walking away at that point. And the Zeeks coming through. That was a big part of it too, is the Zeke synergy that Santorin had. He popped down the ultimate to make sure that there was more damage onto his target
Firestorm.
and coming from WildTurtle.
Ridiculous. And there's something to be said about being the guy or the team itself that's coming in on the Baron. Being able to cause the chaos. Ultimate from Hakuho. Oh my God! Deleted off the map! And JayJ and the rest of the team continue to move forward. The cavalry has arrived. Apollo goes down next. And it's actually JayJ and Santorin cleaning up the first few. LirA's now getting suffocated as the dog pile from FlyQuest dives on into the base of Clutch Gaming. The inhibitors fall one after the other, and the nexus in the eyes of FlyQuest.
And FlyQuest, they are gonna end the first half of the split 5-4, positive record. This is the team that struggled last split, but they have looked great so far.
32.5 minutes in, FlyQuest take down Clutch Gaming.
And they have now won 5 of their last 6 games. They are on an absolute tear here in the NALCS. They started off a little bit weak, losing 3 in a row, but since then, they have been on fire here. FlyQuest bringing in JayJ, having a powerful bottom lane there, and another great performance.
Yeah,
WildTurtle.
The worst games we've had this week.
All around, seeing a lot of these teams that had troubles last year, finding ground, finding a lane that they could actually work off of. But now these teams are finding themselves working off of numerous lanes, having options all around the map because people are stepping up at different times. And it's such a stellar change to see because stuff like this advances every team in the NALCS when everyone gets better.
Yeah, when everyone gets better, it means that there's more good quality scrim partners. You're learning something from every
That's
team.
what I like to hear.
And seriously, this team has come together at the right time. They've got a bottom lane now there where we've seen JayJ even apply pressure to TL's bottom lane, apply pressure to Clutch Gaming's bottom lane, and WildTurtle made it through that game 11-1-7. Highest kill participation on his team by a long shot. He only missed out on a single kill in this game.
Yeah, he did, right.
He was able to carry. He was sitting on full item build with QSS being the only thing you need to upgrade. Versus, if you looked at the build from Apollo, he had 2 completed items, boots, and then parts of another item. He was basically 2 items ahead of him.
And it feels good to have somebody, obviously you play a lot of Varus, that can be versatile in switching between the AP and AD build because it requires much different positioning. So for more on that victory, I'm going to hand it off to Avali and FlyQuest's Arrow of Retribution.
Thanks, guys. Turtle, you are on fire today with that Varus. Congratulations on your win. Tell me, you took down the Clutch bot lane. What did you think about your performance today?
Honestly, I didn't think I played extremely well or anything. I just kind of did my job. Like, I'm hitting turrets, like, trying to go around, you know?
Okay, did you see how many people you sniped?
No.
Well, there you go. Okay, well, maybe all the credit is going to JayJ because right now you guys are, I believe, 4-1 with him. So, I mean, how has his addition to the team changed it?
I think he just brings a lot of positive energy. I think right now our team is pretty much, like, on an upswing right now. Like, we have a lot of positive energy. Like, we take practice pretty seriously at times, but most of the times, like, we're pretty, like, relaxed about it. We're pretty chill. And I think we're getting a lot better because of it.
Now, the standings are a little bit of a mess right now, but with this win, you are tied for 2nd place with, I believe, 4 other teams. Where would you kind of rank FlyQuest right now?
I actually don't know because we had a really rough, like, the first 2 weeks, and I didn't know if we were going to do really well, but we're just kind of coming together right now, so hopefully we can get really good.
What do you think needs a little bit more polishing?
Just our play. Everything needs a little bit of polishing sometimes, you know?
All right, well, I wish you the best of luck with that in your game tomorrow. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you, Avali. WildTurtle was just doing his job and helping the team go 5-1 in their last 6 games, so a huge upward trend for your team. FlyQuest taking down Clutch. This was an even matchup as dictated by the standings, both teams 4-4. But they moved to 5-4, and in large part, they did it in solid fashion this time around.
I think Turtle kind of undersold his performance. 11 kills, won his lane by like 30 CS or whatever it was. I think he deserves a little bit more praise than he was giving himself there.
Yep, without a doubt. But let's take a look at this early game, Meteos, because there was a lot of focus around a bot lane where, hey, Fiddlesticks Jhin should have like a lot of pressure, right?
Oh, for sure. If you're picking Fiddle Jhin, you're trying to win your lane, and Clutch took that even farther by taking area on Fiddlesticks, which is not really normal. Most people, the reason Fiddle's been played is because of Aftershock, giving him that additional tankiness. And so they were winning their lane pretty hard early. They forced Turtle to back, but then Santorin had some really nice ganks and were able to stabilize the lane and then punish it heavily because they had way more pressure going down there. So I think it was well played by FlyQuest for sure.
Intelligent pathing out of the FlyQuest jungler. This replay, though, all about Keane in the mid lane on this Zoe, flashing left and right, picking up more flashes and doing more damage. He'll come away with a double kill here at the end of it all.
Yeah, making sure to keep the spell thief procs up, always grabbing more and more flashes, and that was really the fight that kind of won them the game. It was pretty back and forth until that point, that while there was a lot of action on the bot side, the GP was doing extremely well into the Mundo on the top side, and then that kind of led to the situation where FlyQuest got their first Baron. Clutch Gaming almost turned it around with their own Baron, but Turtle and Santorin, the 2 men we're talking about, win this game for them. Turtle gets a lot of kills. Santorin gets the smite steal from under LirA.
LirA has had some unlucky 50-50s.
This is just
Yeah.
comical, actually, how quickly.
There's that aftershock.
Yeah, there's that aftershock you wish you
Yeah,
had right in that moment, right?
He went down quick. Doesn't
But,
quite have that zone yet.
I mean, overall, a very solid game out of this FlyQuest squad, and I kind of want to get into why it is that we're seeing this improvement. We saw Avali ask WildTurtle, you know, what his best guess at it was, and he definitely pointed towards team environment being part of it. Medios, obviously, you have a little bit of knowledge from behind the scenes. Why do you think it is that FlyQuest is turning on in these last couple weeks, and now, you know, 5-1 in their last 6?
Well, I didn't know it before joining FlyQuest, but they actually have a very, very good team atmosphere. They also have just individually skilled players. I think that specifically Keane is super underrated. I think he's one of the best Zoes for sure, and he's kind of slept on, not viewed as one of the top players, but they've really impressed me from what I've seen. They have a very good team atmosphere. They're all really positive with each other, even during mistakes. I think Santorin's, he's got a great mental. He's very strong jungler. Even when like his team will troll him super hard in scrims, he manages to keep it cool, never really gets too bothered. So it's been really cool working with them. I think they just have a great atmosphere and they can all play well.
What are you giggling about?
I'm just smiling because like you get to see that in action this game when his team hits the blast cone to knock him back in the pit and kill him. That's that good mentality you're talking about, not getting tilted at his team.
I think that is an excuse to buy Moby boots in 5 tiers and just start going mid.
Yeah, luckily, Santorin a little bit more of a
He
team
kept
player.
it together. I'm impressed.
Is that where your mental goes in that moment?
I
Was
might
Moby
have-
boots in 5 tiers.
I might have been found dead under the turd a few times, but
I love it. I love it. I
him.
want to talk about Keane because I think in particular, yes, you mentioned that his Zoe is great. But I think another aspect of Keane as a player has always been this idea of his willingness to try things. And we talk about the current state of the game and how it right now seems to be rewarding players who are more willing to break a mold or something that has been established and rigid, right? Like, oh, well, this is the way the game's been played for 5 years. I'm going to keep playing that way. Keane is one of those players who's just like, that champion looks fun. Why don't I take it mid lane?
It's really weird. He has such a strange career trajectory because he started with like the Hecarim mids with TP that he was running down with Zed as well. He had all these weird counter picks and then kind of fell into like a Orianna, Cassio, Azir player before kind of branching back out a little bit more in this current meta. So he's been a very interesting player to keep my eye on over the years.
he's definitely had a lot of versatility in what he plays. He's not someone who's just fit into one mold. And so I think that's really cool, especially with the meta evolving so fast and just, you know, lots of random champions being played in random roles. So I think it's cool to see. I think the game's more fun when there's more variety, when players are tested on more than just like, how can I right click? It's like, okay, well, this champion, you also have to use their spells.
Right. I mean,
So-
week 1, we had said we thought FlyQuest was a team that could benefit from a lot of these changes. They quickly went 0-3, and so I think we pulled a lot of those, a lot of those statements back, going, oh, maybe not. Maybe they're just not good. But we're finally seeing some of that come to fruition now. The work that's being put in over these weeks to learn up on what is kind of a chaotic meta, if you will.
Yeah, and they're not doing like, I thought they were going to go full crazy mode with Turtle picking whatever he wanted. You know,
Right.
a lot of these games are on Varus and Lucian, one Morgana game, but for the most part, still playing marksman.
Yeah.
And showing that like, you know what, I'm really good at these. So even though I can play the other stuff, I'm not going to like lose my mind and start trying something that I don't think is optimal.
Still very much available to them. Now with today's game set in stone, let's take a look at your predictions for the day.
Let's not.
Mark, you got saved here in game 5 to go 1-4 on the day. How you feeling right now? Because
Better than Jat still.
I'm amazed by that, actually. The fact that Jat went 3-2 on the day and still sits 1 behind you in the season totals, but both of you under 50% now, under that 5.
We're going to get to that tomorrow. If you guys think this looks bad, Jat found a very interesting stat that hopefully he'll be in for tomorrow to drop on you guys. Because
If not, we'll drop it for him.
yeah, tune in.
If these predictions are anything like scrim rate, then ending on a win is enough.
Yeah, you just gotta. You
feel
end the
good
day on a
about it.
win, you go like, let's go get some boba, bro, and get out of there.
He nailed it. All right, well, the results of those games didn't just wound Mark's pride. They further mixed up the standings. He's got 100 Thieves currently holding first with a 6-3 record, while Counterlogic Gaming, Equifox, FlyQuest, Golden Guardians, and Team Liquid all share second at 5-4. We'll see how much more that can change with our games tomorrow in the schedule presented by Jersey Mike Subs. The day starts with Optic Gaming and Cloud9, each aiming to end their week 2-0. followed by FlyQuest versus 100 Thieves, with Team Liquid facing CounterLogic Gaming in the third match of the day, where Freak, Golden Glue, Blabber, and Licorice, that's a full cast, will be casting the game from the NALCS Lounge on Riot Games 2. Taking a look at those 5 scheduled matchups tomorrow. Meteos, which one jumps out at you as a hot one?
A hot one for tomorrow. I think Liquid versus CLG could be a pretty interesting one, because Liquid was very good last split, CLG was pretty weak, and now Liquid's on decline, CLG's doing pretty well. So I think that'll be a really interesting
I think a lot of eyes will be on that one, Mark, for how will Team Liquid rebound after losing to Cloud9, the struggling Cloud9 that played the rookie and Blabber today. And then, of course, for CLG, how can they keep forward momentum rolling?
Yeah, both teams have a lot to prove. CLG is starting to bounce back. Everyone starts hyping them up like, oh, maybe last split they finally figured all their stuff out.
Right.
Still clearly struggling a little bit, and sometimes it does feel like they put themselves in a very tough situation where they have to win the early game so hard.
Right, narrow draft focus or something.
Yeah.
We talked about that today, like the Renekton. Okay, we understand maybe you're trying to contain that talent, but unless you're successful in that, what are the remaining win conditions that you have? So we have some questions around how they might be able to, bolster their strategic options tomorrow. As well, though, I mean, we have Golden Guardians, for example, playing Echo Fox tomorrow. To me, that's another really exciting one, because Golden Guardians, as well, on this big upward trajectory, they now seem like one of the teams that seems hard to beat in draft. We talk about a team that's really done some cool stuff, and I think they've jumped on a lot of those new picks.
I think for sure there's going to be a lot of good matchups tomorrow, and that's a kind of similar story to the CLG Liquid one, where Echo Fox, they did really well last split. They started the split pretty good, but they have looked fairly shaky in their last few games. Meanwhile, Golden Guardians, big upswing. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting results from these games tomorrow.
Final thoughts on the day?
I just hope they start figuring things out, because I love Echo Fox, and it's been a little tough in the recent weeks. Just like, oh, Huni, I know how good you are. Just figure it out, please.
That's a big thing, right? I mean, Huni as a player who, throughout his career, I feel like anytime you look at this guy, regardless of the struggles of the team or whatnot, I mean, he's obviously always had a high opinion of himself and a level of confidence, and deserved, very much deserved for his level of play. But this is maybe the first time that I think, there needs to be recognition that things aren't going right, and that maybe Huni is the problem, the source of the problem in this instance.
Yeah, I mean, he's a lightning rod for sure. His boisterous personality and everything about him.
He's definitely had some rough games. I think that from the outside, it's pretty hard to point the finger at one person, because usually when a team struggles, you can kind of see in their play that once the trust breaks down in the team, players start kind of playing off. And sometimes that can result in certain players trying to overplay situations. Other players will just play really safe and go for nothing. They play not to lose rather than to win. So I think this could just be an issue of something's not going right in their team dynamic. And from the outside,
it causes massive cascading effect.
Exactly.
Right?
And from the outside, we just don't really know what's going on. So being a player, I don't know if it's totally fair to point the finger at one person for a team's failures, but it does seem like Huni's had some rough games, and their team as a whole just looks fairly.
That's why we bring you on the desk, for the player perspective. Got to keep us in check. Either way, the NALCS has some crazy parity happening. We have to say our farewells. Stay tuned after the NALCS goes dark as EU's rebroadcast goes live. A very special thank you to Meteos for joining us and providing us with so much insight. For myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for more of the NALCS. Good night.
Fox versus 100 Thieves, ready to rock a battle over first place. Is that even the right target? The Cody Sun ignited, the flash over for Demonte. Easy kill picked up, 400 gold redshirt, and Anino has to run away. Burns the flash. W should be up fairly soon, but not in time. Gotta be careful. Level 6, the dunk comes in, and actually just hit it a little bit too early. Dunk forward, Anino gets the middle, someday wins the fight. Come. 25, GP no flash. I can chase if you flash. Yeah. No flash. 2 seconds. One second. I'm gonna get to Zaya. Nice. Sunday still on the chase for he killed the filler. He gets the kill. Beautiful play right there. I got one. I'm watching finish.
Hit Galio, slowly.
Galio first. Just live it. No. Trust us.
Slow down.
Trust in yourself, guys. 1 GP there. No break. Enough to have done it. They've knocked down TSM.
If Tarshan is your elder, who's your parent?
Was my what?
Who's
You're
your Baron?
such a troll. Baron?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm Baron.
You said Trundle's your elder, right? Who's the Baron?
Where's the mute option?
Contracts those down, lands will spite. That pulls CLG into a vault. Sense of security. Boogie goes down. Mickey gets him right at the last moment, and it's going to be a double kill for Mickey.
Let's just win. Let's just win. Nice.
He's literally got 2 seconds.
Hakuho is going hard on this one. JayJ goes down. Turtle close to falling. He starts firing back as Santorin puts his hands in the pie for a bit of that fight.
Walk it in.
Kindred. I got it.
Ultimate from Hakuho. Oh my God! Deleted off the map.
With the pushback, they're going to slaughter everybody. A double kill from Pobelzer. Looking at Tim to complete the ace.
He's dead. As he's dead. Wait. Fiddle. Yeah. Jhin. Fiddle. Ending him.
And from last place to knocking down the Spring Split champions, Cloud9 may have just found a roster that works. 1, 2, 3.
G9.